I'm just going to fill in the holes that I miss here. Here's who's missing for the Dodgers right now. I'm going to do the offense first. You're missing Mookie and Max Muncy. Mookie was on an MVP trajectory until he went down. Max Muncy's a 30-plus home run guy. He's basically missed the entire year. Those are your guys on the offensive side, your regular offensive performers that you're missing right now. On the pitching side, Bobby Miller's in the minor leagues. Clayton Kershaw is on a rehab assignment. Walker Buehler is working with private coaches. Tyler Glasnow is down. Yamamoto is down. Ryan Brazier is down. Joe Kelly is down. Brusdar Graterol is down. I miss anybody?
You said Mookie?
Said Mookie.
Okay. No, you got everybody.
That's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
We're talking about, are they going to get Crochet? Are they going to get Skubal? Are they going to go get Luis Robert or any of these guys? For the last, 10 years or so, the Dodgers have been just the best team in their division, kind of cruised into September with very few exceptions, had a dogfight down the stretch. And the one time they did, they still won 105 games. And then the playoffs start, and it's like, okay, let's see what happens next. They've been scuffling for about 2 months. With all the players that they're missing, it's very likely that they'll continue to be about a 500 team for about another month or so until everybody starts getting back. What about this, Al? What if we get to the beginning of September and all those guys that I mentioned are back, and all those guys that I mentioned are fresh, and all those guys that I mentioned are not some lesser version of what they can be? What if those guys show up and look like something very close to the best versions of themselves? Is that not the dream scenario where all of a sudden your rotation is Glasnow, Yamamoto, Walker Buehler's looking like an ace, Gavin Stone keeps going, Clayton Kershaw is the guy, if you have to throw him out there, he's ready to go. Mookie looks like an MVP again. Max Muncy's back. He's a dangerous bat that extends the lineup. Teoscar, and all of a sudden you don't need to make a single move to backstop this thing because everything you need is there. It's just down.
That might tell you a lot of whether they make a move or not. Because if they don't make a move, then they do feel confident that, yes, the market is one thing, but they also may say, guys, we're not. A lot of teams need to make a move because they need a pitcher and they don't have anybody to come save them, or they need a bat and they don't have somebody come save them. The Dodgers do have players that can come save them. I know it's not ideal, but let's just play this out here for a quick second. I know doing the show with you the last couple of years, Clayton Kershaw would start a season, and you'd say around July-ish,
now,
right, is when you'd say, hey, let's get this guy with a lower back injury. Let's start saving some innings here. Let's get him ready for the right time of the year. It might not be great to have a couple of months in the middle of the season where you're an average team, below average team. Here's some of the things that the Dodgers got going for them. They never, through any of this season, really have to worry about making the playoffs, nor do they have to worry about winning the division. I think if that was not the case, if Arizona was outperforming, if the Padres or San Francisco, then maybe you could look at it and say, hey, this is not an ideal situation. Don't you want to be the healthiest and the best in a month from now? The fact that these guys, and I'm talking about Yamamoto and I'm talking about Glasnow, Kershaw's yet to pitch for the Dodgers. I don't even think you need. When you said Walker Buehler's name, I'm going to just assume Walker Buehler's not a part of the mix. But there are enough players there and arms there that in a perfect world, September 1st rolls around and you're saying, okay, that was a really weird 3 months, but everyone is here.
And fresh.
There, I don't know which one. I can't remember which network we were using for the odds. I can't remember which one what it was. Dodgers still had the
ESPN Bet.
Okay, ESPN Bet. If ESPN Bet still has the Dodgers as the most likely to win a World Series of all the teams out there, they're also betting on what? They're going to get their guys back.
Sure.
Most of these, you don't need them all to come back. I don't think there's a scenario where any team is completely healthy by the time you get to September or October, but that's a lot of players that are expected to come back. This is not, I guess.
And not just guys. Like this, you know what I mean? Like if you were waiting around like, hey, listen, we need to get Jason Hayward back. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to Jason Hayward, but Jason Hayward.
Big difference between him and Mookie.
It's Mookie Betts. Mm-hmm. It's Tyler Glasnow. It's Yoshi Yamamoto. These are not just guys that, hey, we'd rather have. These are star players. These are impactful, difference-making guys.
Of the players that we mentioned, and we'll just go through them because I think that's important. Do you feel good Glasnow is going to come back?
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah.
Do you feel good Mookie's going to come back?
Oh, of all of them, he's the one I feel the best about.
Okay. Those are critical.
Yeah.
Those are the two, right?
Yeah.
Like, get those back first, and then I'll keep going. How do you feel about Muncy?
I'm not optimistic.
Okay.
He's been down a long time.
Yep.
That injury, the way he takes such a huge swing, he's got that oblique injury. And I'm not trying to throw shade at Max Muncy. I see him in the dugout every once in a while, and I'm like, dude, you got to check yourself. Like, you do not look like you're ready to walk back into a Major League Baseball game right now. He looks like he's terribly out of shape. He looks soft. He looks just a little bloated, or I don't even know what the right word is, but you look at Mookie Betts when he's on TV, he looks like he could play tomorrow. Max Muncy does not.
Okay, so Muncy you have less confidence about. How about Yamamoto?
I literally have no idea what to expect there.
Okay.
None. I am cautiously optimistic, but I don't know.
How about Kershaw?
Even what's less optimistic than cautiously optimistic?
Okay.
I just don't. He had a shoulder surgery.
Okay.
He's an older player.
I think it's fair. I think everything you're saying. How about Bueller?
No.
Okay. The last one I got, and then how about Bobby Miller?
No, not really.
Okay. So of the 6 guys, 2 of them, who I would say are the 2 most important, right? It's
Glasnow and Mookie.
Glasnow and Mookie. I don't think that's enough.
No.
But
Glasnow, Mookie +1.
You need a +1.
Now we're.
Well, can I tell you the +1? It's Yamamoto, right? Like,
well, if it's him, then you're in great shape.
You're good.
But if it's Muncy, that's pretty good. If let's say Bobby Miller looks like the Bobby Miller from a year ago. Okay, that's cool. That guy can play. That's a major league caliber pitcher.
But isn't that interesting when you go through each player? Because you're right. Listen, if 4 of those guys are back, Dodgers are going to have a long playoff run.
Yeah.
If just 2 of those guys are back, as great as those 2 are, you're still missing a critical piece here.
In a perfect world, they're all back, or most of them are back. They're healthy. They're fresh. And here is, if I could have one wish come true, you win the first game of whoever you're playing against, and your offense rolls against because you're going to face a good pitcher, right? It's the playoffs.
But I know what you mean.
They score 8 runs, right? They win the game 8-3. Otani goes yard. Freeman has 2 doubles. Mookie's on base 3 times.
There's like a little.
Guys, we did it. We whatever that thing was, it's gone. We're good. And then go out and just be a little looser, a little freer, because even if you win the first game 2-1, that's cool. Tough game, playoffs, nip tuck, got it.
But the other team doesn't feel awful either. They don't feel demoralized.
I'll go back to the game you and I were at together with the Padres. Dodgers had a 5-run lead.
They were 5-0,
and they won the game 5-3. And the last 2 innings were like
guys on, with some situational hitting.
It never felt good after that. Like the last 2 innings of the one game they won, it never felt good. It never felt good against the D-backs last year. Kershaw bombed out before anybody had even put the mustard on the hot dog. That game was over. But the next game, Miller was actually worse. And then Lance Lynn through batting practice in Game 3. It was a blank show from the first inning of all of those games.
They never had the lead, right? Never had the lead in that series?
No,
I don't
never
think
did.
They did. Yeah.
Never did. All they did was win 100 billion games, and I think the Diamondbacks won 7.
I was parking. He'd text me, "Hey, might as well turn back."
I did. I said, "You turn around and go home. This thing's over." I've never.
Which game?
The Miller game. I've never been to a ball game where before it had even started, there was this weird, like, oh my God, it's happening again energy. And then he got clobbered.
What did he give? I can't remember. I remember the Kershaw was like 6-0.
I think he gave up 6 runs too.
Okay.
I think it was 6 runs also, but it was bad.
But if Outman made that catch,
bro,
everything changes.
Yeah, and then they only
how many jerseys
5.
were sold right before that?
I got to buy his one. Yeah,
right. Factor Cap. Coming up next is Travis and Sliwa, 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, John